All right, guys. So I got this white pipe, down pipe out of the way, and this thing was fucking, I don't know what the hell kind of shit, homemade shit this was. It had this, and then these two cats. I don't know. It's kind of excessive, so I just cut this stupid thing off because it's kind of a pain in the ass. This was getting caught on the transmission and the frame. Cut that off. I already got the passenger header off. This is the one that was leaking. It looks like it was leaking from back here. Pretty nasty leak. But one problem that I'm already noticing with the new manifold is, where did I put it? On the stock one, it kind of goes back and down. On the new one, it doesn't. It kind of just flows at an angle. So I may have to run with just open headers on until I can get the white pipe on. But I'm gonna put the headers on first, and then I'm gonna see how close I can get the down pipe bolted up to the header. If I can't, I'm gonna see if I can just get something custom made all the way back. But right now, I'm just removing the driver's side manifold here. Got a couple more bolts to go. Now I'm gonna get all this stuff off and clean the surfaces in the meantime. Yeah. Crusty gaskets. Oh yeah, look at that. That stuff is old and crusty. And this one's actually a little bit closer, as you guys can tell. That's almost the same. So hopefully by this being a little bit closer to the stock one, it'll bolt up to the white pipe, at least have a little access. But for now, like I said, I need to come back here and just clean all the old Mr. Gasket performance. Whoa. All right, let's see if I can put these headers on real quick. I need to get this done. And I've been using this plastic wheel here, but if you've never used one of these, man, I definitely recommend one of these. These work really well. These are just made out of plastic, so it's not going to hurt the head at all. It's just going to eliminate remove all the old gasket and clean the surface really well. All right, guys, so these are the gaskets that I went with. I went with these Renflex exhaust gaskets. I went with these because you guys had convinced me to get these, that these are the best ones. And actually, when you take them out of the package, look how thick they are. That's actually pretty thick. So that's great for headers that are, you know, not flush or even, or you got a little ding in your head. These are going to seal for sure, because that's a pretty thick gasket. Now you do have to tighten these down to 20 foot-pounds, so make sure you have a torque wrench. And I'm going to go with these ARP header bolts to make sure that they don't come loose, and that gives me enough clearance here on the header, because there's not very much room to tighten these down. So I'm going to go with these instead of the OE header bolts, because those are definitely not going to fit on here, because these are a little bit wider, so there's less room for you to put a socket on there. On the passenger side, I actually had to grind down my wrench here in order to get clearance to put the wrench on there, because yeah, see how thin that is. One of the bolts, I couldn't tighten it down with the regular socket or even with the wrench, so I had to grind it down a little bit just to get this on there tight enough to where I can torque down the bolts. But it's in there, and I'm about to do the driver's side real quick. I'll get it all cleaned up and ready to install. All right, guys, so I got the headers on the driver's side, and the passenger side, they're all torqued down to specs. I was gonna go ahead and see if I can install the down pipe, and I'm already running into some issues. What I'm running into is it's not lining up here, and on the other side as well. I don't know if you guys can tell, but right there, it's not at the right angle. It's not facing straight down like it should. And over here, same thing, it's not even close. So what I'm gonna have to do is take this to the exhaust shop, see if they can just cut maybe a new white pipe. But I'm gonna get rid of these cats anyways. I don't need cats. This truck is 25 years old now, so it's just a safety. It's not an emissions test anymore. So legally, I don't have to have cats. The tire shop just called me. The tires are in, so I'm about to load up these wheels into the Highlander. I got 2 in there right now, and I got the 9.5s in there, and I'm about to put the 11-inch wheels in there. Hopefully they fit without me having to lower the second row seats. But yeah, I'm about to put these in real quick and take these over to the tire shop, have them mount the new tires on the wheels, and get them ready to put back on the truck, because it's been sitting like a hovercraft in the garage for a little over a week now. Cool, they fit nice and wide. Alright guys, so I just picked up the wheels and tires. They're loaded up in the back. Got them stuffed up in there, and I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna stop at the auto port store real quick and put some. Oh, that's pretty cool. McLaren 720. It's alright. Got the tires and wheels back, and they look good. So on the backs, I went with 305s, 40, 18s. I went with these Needles Extremes NT55s. Look at these things, super sticky, super wide. And the front, I went with some Nittos, 245, 45, 18s. So right now, I'm just mounting up the adapters to the back. These are 1-inch adapters. So I'm just gonna bolt these up for now and put the wheels on and see how they fit. All right, so I got the front on, and I'm running into a little bit of an issue on the back one. So as you can tell on the wheels here on the back, it's slotted. So the stud can run through the wheel and not hit the wheel. But on the back side, it doesn't have that. So you see how they're just flush. There's no cutouts here. So the studs, the factory studs, are actually bottoming out on the wheel. The wheel is not sitting flush on the adapter. So I'm either gonna have to cut these studs, or I'm gonna have to go find shorter studs and press and put those in on the axle. So right now I'm just gonna take these off and see if I can get shorter studs, a little bit shorter. That way I can go ahead and put those on correctly. And see if I can find a shorter one. All right guys, so I finally broke down and went and purchased a Dremel from Lowe's, and I picked up some cutting wheels as well. So I'm gonna use the Dremel to cut the studs even. That way I can still leave, that way it doesn't mess up the threads. If I had to go buy a tap or a die to fix the threads, I will, but I shouldn't have to. Cool. So there you go. See how it's sitting flush. It's a little bit past the spacer there, so now I can still attach a lug nut to it. All right guys, so I got 4 done already, and I need to put that lug stud back in, because I was trying to look for a smaller stud at the auto parts store, and all they had was this one, which is a little bit shorter, but still didn't give me what I needed. But I need to install the stud back in, so I need to take this off. And this is a good time to go ahead and replace your shoes if you need some new shoes. But the best way to do install a wheel stud is, if you don't have a wheel stud installer, is go ahead and install the stud like this, and get some washers that go over the stud, and just place the washers over the stud like so, and grab a lug nut and thread it on finger tight as much as you can. Okay, grab your impact, and you'll notice on the back it pulling the stud all the way through as we impact it. There you go. Once it bottoms out, back it off, and our stud is installed. Pull off these washers, and there you go. You got a brand new wheel stud. So like I said, if I ever wanted to go back to OE style wheels, I can always bang these studs out and replace them with brand new ones if I wanted to. So Let me just cut this one off also. And what I'm doing is I'm putting a lug nut on there. So when I do cut off the part of the stud, if I mess up the thread a little bit, when I back off the nut, it'll re-thread it for me. That way I don't have to go get a tap or a die. But yeah, these are all going back on with no problem. So the Dremel is working out perfect with the small cutoff wheel. Like I said, it's probably only the cutoff wheel is really only good for about 2 lug nuts, and then you need to replace it because once it gets small like that, it starts to get hot, and that's when it explodes and disintegrates. So it's best to kind of maybe do 1.5 and 2 at the most, and then go ahead and put a new wheel. So I'm about to put a new wheel because I've already done 2 here, 2 here, and I do 1 more. So then we can put the adapter back on. All right, guys. So I got them all cut up. Put the lug nuts back on there, and as you guys can tell, it is sitting nice and flush. The studs are not sticking past the adapter now. So I'm gonna go ahead and torque these down to about 100 foot-pounds, and then put the wheel back on and torque that down as well. Alright guys, so I tightened the wheels down to 115 foot-pounds just because I have adapters on there. When I tighten them up a little bit more, about 10 to 15 foot-pounds more than what it recommends, but just to be safe than sorry. And now it looks like the wheel would actually tuck in the fender if I were to drop it down lower. So it'd be pretty close, but it looks really nice like that. I'm gonna go ahead and lower it down. Yeah, that looks good right there. Looks really good. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, now I just gotta do the other side and we'll be all set. We can go drive it around. Oh, by the way, I am open headers right now, so it's gonna be pretty loud. For the first ride? Yeah. It's gonna be a little loud, all right? It's got like no muffler, so it's all right. The neighbors are gonna hate me for today. Let's go. Ready? That's loud. Alright guys, so the truck actually drove really nice. I didn't drive very far because like I said, it's got open headers, but it's a little too loud. So I'll be taking it to the exhaust shop here in the next episode. I'm also gonna be taking it to get an alignment done because it definitely needs an alignment. The steering wheel is way off centered, but I'll be doing that in the next episode. Please comment below what you guys think the truck looks. If you guys like the wheels, don't like them, what you guys wanna see different. I may paint the wheels, I may not, I may just leave them alone, but they look good right now. Please put them in the comments below what you guys think. Please like, please subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.